everyone. Good afternoon from Los Angeles. It's Alyssa Quorum and Ken Shreve here with a look at the stock market today for Thursday, March 19th. And on today's show, we're going to be taking a look at the charts of Netflix, Adobe, and Vertex Pharmaceuticals. But we begin with a look at the major indexes. It was an up day on Wall Street, the Nasdaq finishing with a gain of about 2.2 to 2.3%. So up pretty substantially after yesterday, but off of the intraday high, although we are still deep in this correction, Ken.
Yeah, it seems like every time we get a big percentage gain for an index and the first day of a rally attempt, at least in recent days, it's been met by heavy selling the very next day. So hopefully that won't happen tomorrow. But listen, we'll take day one of a rally attempt anytime we can get it. So we had that today for the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, and again in the past we've seen selling the very next day after nice up days. So hopefully we won't see that tomorrow. We'll be able to continue a little rally attempt here.
Yeah, we'll take what we can get and keep an eye on that rally attempt. But in the meantime, let's take a look at a few individual names. We want to start off with a look at Netflix because we saw a nice gain for Netflix today, retaking its 200-day line, finishing with a gain of about 5% here, Ken, as more and more people are staying home, working from home, streaming more video content.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix has definitely been mentioned as a new coronavirus stock play, and it's interesting with subscriber growth has been doing pretty well in Europe. But it'll be interesting to see if they might see a little bit of an uptick in North American subscriber growth. It's been struggling in that vein in recent quarters, but yeah, it's expected to benefit as people stay home, and this is was one of the better performing FANG stocks today. Amazon also had a good day, and Facebook as well. This was the first time in recent days in the market where we actually saw true growth stocks come back to life. So Netflix faded a little bit with the Nasdaq by the close, but like you said, it's holding support so far at its 200-day moving average.
Yeah, very good points. And so this is one for the watch list, just reiterating, as we like to do every day, we are not in a confirmed uptrend by any means. You can't take one day of gains out of context. So we'll be keeping tabs for a potential follow through day. But in the meantime, Netflix, a potential name for the watch list. And we also have our eye on Adobe retaking or attempting to retake its 200-day line as well with a gain of more than 4%. And, I thought yesterday's action was also pretty interesting for Adobe. It was able to recoup a significant amount of its intraday losses and tacking on a gain today.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a very good point about yesterday. It got all the way down to the 250 level on Wednesday, but you can see during Wednesday's session it did, even though it closed lower, it did manage to close all the way up near its high, and it followed through today a little bit. It's still what I would call kind of testing support at its 200-day moving average, but just like Netflix, this is still in the early stages of a consolidation. So if we can keep this market rally going and go to day two, day three, day four, and you would expect names like Adobe and Netflix to continue to build the right sides of basis here. There's still a lot of early base building going on in the market, and due to the severity of the market's decline, it's going to take a little while for these bases to take shape. So just like Netflix, maybe Adobe can stay in rally mode here and start working on the right side of a base.
Yeah, that's right. Both of these stocks have relative strength lines that are continuing to move higher. So it's definitely the kind of thing we want to see for stocks on our watch list. Also, we're seeing a significant incline for the relative strength in Vertex Pharmaceuticals, which has been able to hold its 200-day line despite the widespread losses that we've seen over the past few weeks, Ken.
Yeah, now this is actually what a really good test looks like, but because for several days the stock has been holding above the 200-day moving average. It's been a pretty shallow pullback for the biotech as well. So Vertex has been really appearing in IBD growth screens for quite some time due to an outstanding track record record of earnings and sales growth. It's not a speculative biotech by any means. It's profitable, generates meaningful sales. It's a dominant player in the cystic fibrosis market. So you mentioned these really bullish relative strength lines is something we've been talking a lot about on IBD Live every morning. Paying attention to stocks that are holding up relatively well, not falling as much as the broad market, just showing strength, and Vertex is definitely in that group as well.
Yeah, and always a good thing to make sure you're maintaining and updating and tweaking that watch list as well. All
Yeah,
right.
no doubt about it.
Yes. So that's it for today, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. And as Ken mentioned, the in depth discussion will continue tomorrow morning on IBD Live. So we definitely hope you check it out. And we're actually running a special this week. You can get a free 3-week trial. So make sure you check out investors.com/IBD Live for that. Ken, it's definitely a place to get that in depth analysis on the market, and really also during this time, especially looking at historical examples.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. There's been a lot of market analysis on IBD Live, and it'll be interesting to see where the market goes from here. We're kind of looking for signs of a bottom. Like I said, we got the first day of another rally attempt for the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 today. Obviously, coronavirus is still a big talking point in the market, and rightly so. As expected, the coronavirus cases in the U.S. Are rising significantly. At last check, they're now at around confirmed cases at around 11,400 and 2,154 new cases today alone. So it's continuing to spread. That's obviously going to continue to be a challenge for the market. So Wall Street is hoping things start to, level off at some point. But this virus continues to spread, and that could be challenging for the market. But what we have right now is another rally attempt for the S&P 500 and Nasdaq, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Right. We're continuing to see new information all the time, headlines left and right, really impacting the volatility that we've seen in all of these big swings. But you can be sure that IBD is there every step of the way, helping, guiding you through this market and through these times. And we are keeping an eye out for that potential follow through day that's on our radar. But for now, cash is the place to be.
No doubt about it.
All right. Thanks so much, Ken. And thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.